just when you thought it was over, you thought the train was pulling into the station, everybody was getting off, the NERF train was done and over with for a couple of months while we wind down into the holiday season where everything is going to get sold and maybe a couple of surprises would pop up, or maybe the NERF Zombie Strike Contractor would show up in a store and it's a $30 pump action strong arm with lights and sounds that I love Zombie Strike, but this is, again, kind of a slap in the face compared to everything else we've seen so far. I want to see more innovation, and that's not really innovation. Anyway, the point is, we had the Adventure Force Nexus Pro. We have the Aeon Pro coming out. Everybody's all hyped up on their short darts and their high power, and we thought it was done. We were just kind of waiting to see what will happen in the future. In fact, I'm really hoping that NERF has something exciting coming out, because right now they are losing pretty much on everything, and if you want me to do a video on that, please let me know down in the comment section. And it's basically just like what's going to come out now. What is Dart Zone going to come out with next that's going to make us so happy? We kind of forgot about a newcomer that showed up not too long ago that people were excited to see at last year's Toy Fair, and yet nothing really came of that. Well, for obvious reasons, there was a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world, but remember the D-Dart Tempest? This was one of the things that when I first saw it, I was so hyped because it's completely different than basically anything else we had. The form factor, the mechanics, the way it worked, there is so much going on with this blaster, and if you saw my mod guide on this thing, you would know it is a monster when it comes to rate of fire. This is one of the fastest firing NERF blasters that you can get your hands on. And literally hands, you could dual wield these things, just completely empty this entire cylinder in about a second. And they showed off some cool stuff at Toy Fair last year, but most of it was a little incomplete. Well, let's not even worry about Toy Fair because right now we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I guarantee you, if you're not already excited, I'm about to blow your flippin' mind with what they have coming out. And we're gonna save the best for last, and you can go through the list and try to figure out what the best is, but my goodness, am I hyped for what we're about to get our hands on. Let's start off with some familiar faces, like the D-Dart Cyclone. This is very similar to the Tempest that we already have with one key feature. You can swap out drums and it comes with 2 of them. That means you can do quick reloads on a blaster that may not be the most economical thing to have a reload for. I mean, it's a big old chunky cylinder thing with a lot of empty space in it, but you can do it. And if it has the same mod potential as the original D-Dart Tempest, well, that's just a complete upgrade win right there, so I'm kind of excited for that one. Not good enough? Well, they obviously took the modding to heart, because the D-Dart Tempest Pro is a blaster that fires twice as fast. It advertises that it can empty its cylinder in 4 seconds. I'm hoping with all these that the small problem with it not working with standard sized darts was rectified. I'm assuming it is, but really hope that's a change that made it in there somewhere. In my opinion, those were the 2 most boring ones. Let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video, starting with the D-Dart Hailstorm. This is a blaster we've already kind of seen. It was at Toy Fair in some capacity, and go figure, the 1 year I was planning on going to Toy Fair, 2021, it's of course been postponed and moved entirely online. The Hailstorm is the same thing as the D-Dart, but with miniature rival magazine tube things instead of just darts. It holds up to like 80 rounds or something crazy like that, and its rival, which while it might not be the most accurate thing to have that much firepower in a really compact package on you, is gonna be a mainstay for HVZ. 80 rounds. It really does not get better than that for any situation where you just need to pretty much clear a room. The rate of fire from the prototypes that we can see that they're already uploaded to the YouTube page, all these videos of which I will have linked down below, I don't want to steal all their footage, doesn't look the best, but at the same point, I don't really like super crazy rate of fire. Like the D-Dart mod that I did, that thing's really only meant for one thing, room clearing. That's it. One person or hopefully a whole bunch of people in one small space where you could just dump the entire thing and then it's done. You have no more. I actually like the control rate of fire, and because I would rather have 80 rounds, have 2 of them and just go pop, 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 and just eliminate everything in front of me in a casual fashion. That's the way I like to nerf. I like high capacity, but a slower rate of fire. But of course, it's a D-Dart. You could probably just modify it the same way I did with the other one and make it absolutely dump rounds like no tomorrow. So hey, that's also a thing, and I'm excited for it. It's something new, and I say something new, it's like the same exact thing we already had, just taken in a different direction. All these blasters, that's the funniest part, except for the final one, are all pretty much the same thing with tweaks to them. Now let's get on to something that is of course near and dear to my little heart. the D-Dart Twin Tornado. This blaster is very similar to the Cyclone and what have you, with one major difference. It has an elongated cage to hold long flywheels because it actually has an inner and outer circle containing 54 darts. And not only will it fire one dart at a time from both cylinders, hence the 2 feeding positions on the long flywheel kind of things, it'll also shoot 2 darts at once. 2 darts at... My entire channel's thesis is based around the fact that firing 2 darts is always better than 1, in my opinion. I cannot think of a scenario, as long as there's somewhat of a little tiny decent deviation between the two, always better. I'd rather pull the trigger and fire 2 darts than pull the trigger twice with 1 dart each, because I guarantee you, I would rather hit the target the first time I shoot, and that's what having 2 darts is, and that's why I'm so desperately trying to get my hand on like a burst fire secondary, like, I'm going to be building woozies here in the very near future, because that's the only kind of small short dart kind of thing I can find that will shoot like a burst fire, which is kind of like a shotgun, but not, you get the point. Anyway, point is, this thing is amazing. I am so hyped for this. My only concern is that with those long flywheels and the way that thing works, it's probably going to be a nightmare to mod. I don't really care because it shoots 2 darts. You have 2 of those, you basically have Mouse's shotguns from the Matrix. Like, everybody wanted to do Mouse's shotgun from the Matrix when they saw this thing. Now you can basically do that. It's a shotgun pistol ring thing, Ember Celica, it's amazing. That is like the most, and I'm not even started yet because we still have 2 more amazing things to talk about. Oh my goodness, the next one is a doozy. The MFN D-Dart Blizzard. Every time I see this thing, I can only think of Kite's, the Bracelet of Twilight or whatever it was, the thing he uses to data drain and dot hack. I keep thinking of that thing because it's a D-Dart Tempest with magazines. And the magazines hold darts. It holds 80 darts. It looks absolutely absurd, but it also looks futuristic and cool. And it's 80 darts in a tiny, like I say tiny, it's flipping massive. I can't really tell from the girl who's holding it, but it's just, look at that thing. Holy crap! 80 darts! 80! Actually, I'm starting to get things confused. I think the Hailstorm only held 77. The D-Dart Blizzard holds 80. But come on, man! It's a revolving magazine. We have nothing like that in the hobby. I am so excited. And the one mod I can think of wanting to do with this thing is somehow partitioning the magazines. So every single time it fires 2 short darts instead. So it's like a 2-dart shotgun, but 80 times 2, so 160 darts on one thing, and you could just pepper box everything in front of you with just spews of 2 little short oh my goodness! I really hope I can make that happen. But of all this hype and energy that I have, there is a sleeper blaster. You're all probably wondering, like, if you've looked at the YouTube page, what is Walcom forgetting? Like, this is amazing. How could it get any better? And the secret is actually in the D-Dart Vortex. This thing does, it's like the video, where do I even begin with this thing? You're gonna look at it and some of you are gonna be like, what? It's a water, why would I care? I mean, I personally really like Super Soakers and Squirt Guns and stuff like that, but you're missing the point, man. You're really missing the point. The D-Dart Vortex, the reason why this thing is gonna be absolutely insane, at least I hope, I'm guessing there's gotta be a way to, please let this be a thing, D-Dart, is the fact that it has a built-in compressor. It's a water gun that has a built-in compressor to charge itself. You fill up the tank and it fills it full of air and it squirts. I'll give you one guess what's gonna happen to that thing as I get my little dart beaters on it. Oh, baby. That's right. That sucker is gonna be made from the ground up to shoot whatever high-pressure air thing I want. Or maybe even better, you don't have to like dump the entire tank in one pull. Maybe you can get like little bursts off of it, like 5 or 6, like the Hornet, like a Mad Hornet from the NERF Max Force line, or maybe a better version of like the Marshmallow M Forcer, that kind of thing. But this thing, it's got a compressor. Like the last time I saw anything like that stock in the hobby was that freaking Marshmallow, the Mazooka. That's like impossible to get your hands on. And if had I known it was a thing when it existed, I would have bought a pallet of them because it is the best air tank I have ever gotten in this hobby. It dumps air immediately, has an auto shut-off valve, and it's a compressor that's powered by batteries. This thing, I'm really hoping, it could be a complete dud. It could be built from the ground up to not allow you to do that kind of thing, and I can't fault them for that. It's not like it's meant to do that. Even then, I think the compressor unit could be taken out and put into other things. It obviously has some kind of auto shut-off, so why the heck not? But if this thing will be moddable out of the box to like just not even have air, just put like a PVC barrel or something, have it shoot darts, rival rounds, missiles, Titan missiles, Altimeter missiles, everything you could possibly imagine. They're bringing back, you saw the Fortnite GL, right? They're obviously bringing back missiles, so it won't be that hard to get more missiles and make this thing an absolute beast. At least that's what I'm hoping. Either way, even as a competent little water shooter, that is an ingenious idea to have a compressor built into the thing. That's a cool idea. And you notice like all of these blasters are pretty much the same thing, slight variations of them, and I don't care. That's the kind of ingenuity I want. Hasbro, pay the heck attention. It's not that difficult. If you're gonna re-release a blaster like the Strife, change one thing that makes it different, that adds something. You can improve on these blasters. You can reiterate on these blasters without changing what makes them good. But why is it every time you make a new version of the blaster, it's worse than the original? I'm trying not to scream so I don't peek the freaking microphone, but this is basic stuff, man! How is this little tiny no-name? Who the heck knows D-Dart? Who knows D-Dart? Everybody knows Hasbro! You're like the biggest toy manufacturer in the world, and your D-Dart is just beating you in the butt so hard right now! Yeah, I'm a man-child, okay? I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. People call me a neckbeard. My beard isn't really on my neck, it's just on my second or third chin, but that's the point. Like, I'm so excited for just these things. And it's basically the same thing as this, just slight tweaks everywhere that makes it cooler. 2021, man, is gonna be so freaking cool. I really do hope that, like, NERF, like obviously I'm a massive NERF fanboy. Like, these are almost all unopened blasters that are incredibly rare. I don't want NERF to fail, alright? I'm hoping they just suplex us all from the top rope and just pound us into oblivion with an amazing 2021 that makes us forget 2020 even happened. And if not, hopefully Dart Zone comes out with like some crazy cool stuff. But even if those two fail, hopefully the D-Dart stuff comes out in 2021 and it's even half as good as I hope it is, man. Like, that's all I want. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to get your hands on the shirt that I am wearing in a variety of colors and sizes and styles, you can find a link down for that in the description below, in the YouTube Teespring merch shelf down below that, in a card in the top right corner, and probably in the pinned comment as well. It is a limited design. The Adventure Shot Waffles shirt will be leaving in a couple more weeks. You only have a little bit of time to get your hands on it if you're interested. I would be wearing the pink one, but I think my wife is holding it hostage. But other than that, I'm Walcom S7. I thank you very much for watching this video all the way through. Hit like, get subscribed. There's a lot more coming, as always. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video.
You gotta